What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the new movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. So this is the newest movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you could also count it as the newest movie in the X-Men franchise as well. So in this movie, a listless Wade Wilson tolls away in civilian life with his days as the morally flexible mercenary Deadpool behind him, but when his homeworld faces an existential threat, Wade must reluctantly suit up again with an even more reluctant Wolverine. This movie is freaking awesome. I gotta admit, I was very impressed with how good this movie was. I figured I would like it and stuff and everything, but I think it was even better than I expected because it went in directions that I was really not expecting. I had been hearing so much different news about this movie, I didn't know what to believe was going to be what happened and everything, and it kind of does have some of the stuff that I had been hearing throughout the production of the movie and everything, but there was also a lot of things that I wasn't expecting that happened in this movie too, so I gotta say I was really impressed. But the biggest positive of this movie though is just having Hugh Jackman back. It is great having him back as Wolverine. He is just spot on perfect once again, gives an amazing performance, which I've always said that every performance Hugh Jackman gives as Wolverine is always top notch, and he doesn't phone it in or anything. It doesn't feel like he's just in this movie for the money. You can tell he's having a legit great time playing the character and everything, and it's just great having an actor that loves playing a character that we all love and stuff and everything. It's not like with Han Solo or Obi-Wan Kenobi where Alec Guinness and Harrison Ford didn't like playing their characters and everything. It's nice having actors that really love playing their characters, and you get that not just with Hugh Jackman but Ryan Reynolds as well. And of course the movie is called Deadpool and Wolverine and everything, so you can't really not talk about Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. He's just absolutely spot on perfect too. He's one of the absolute best casted characters in comic book movie history. Him and Hugh Jackman both are spot on perfect for their characters, and always have been. The only thing that I've ever heard people complain about on Hugh Jackman is his height and everything, and I don't really care about that as much because he's just so great as a character. I don't care about how tall he is. But it's great having him back, and it was also great getting to see Deadpool on a new adventure and stuff too, because we hadn't seen him since 2018, so it was cool getting to see him again and everything, and it made me realize how much I've actually kind of missed Deadpool and stuff, because he used to be everywhere around the time the first two movies came out. He would pop up in commercials and stuff like that, and he was always just fun to watch and everything. And Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, kind of like Will Ferrell is Ron Burgundy, or Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow, or there's so many other ones you could say outside of the superhero genre, but Ryan Reynolds is just perfect as Deadpool and everything. And this rest of the cast are great in here too, and everything. I think everybody else, all the returning cast are great too. There's a lot of cool cameos in this movie. I'm not going to go into detail about who pops up in here because there's some surprises and everything. There's a lot of really cool references to the whole history of the X-Men franchise and everything. If you know your history about things that happened or were going to happen or that did happen throughout the X-Men franchise that get referenced and everything, you're going to enjoy the movie a lot more. This movie is definitely made for the hardcore Marvel fans, but it's broad enough that the audiences can just enjoy it as a fun Deadpool movie without really having to even see the first two Deadpool movies. You don't really need the first two Deadpool movies to understand or follow it or anything that came before it, but if you have that knowledge, you're going to enjoy the movie a whole lot more and everything, because it does have a lot of fan service and stuff too and everything. And as somebody who grew up in the early 2000s and watched these superhero movies growing up, I gotta say that this was a fun celebration of the Fox era of superhero movies in the early 2000s. They did a really great job. I had a lot of the same feelings on this movie that I did with Spider-Man No Way Home, on the nostalgia and the fun of getting to see some of these characters pop up or show up again, the characters we thought we'd never see again and stuff. So that's really cool too. And Cassandra Nova, the villain of the movie, is great. I think she's a really great villain. She's intimidating, she's funny and stuff. There's parts where she's pretty funny. She's kind of got like a dark sense of humor to her a little bit, and she's like Charles Xavier's evil twin and stuff. And she's kind of sympathetic. You kind of feel bad for her because she was kind of just dumped into the void and stuff and abandoned and everything. So I understand that they made her sympathetic, and I think they did a good job with her. I thought she was a really good villain. I think the actress that played her did a really good job too, and everything, making her likable, or well, not really likable, but sympathetic and everything, but also intimidating and stuff and everything. And also just she gets to do something in the movie that I've wanted to see happen for years and everything. So there's a scene in this movie that I never ever in my entire life would have ever expected would have ever happened, but I was so glad that it did and everything. I'll talk about that when I get to do my spoiler review, but I'm going to do that here in a couple weeks. I'm going to give it a couple weeks before I do a spoiler review, like I did with Spider-Man No Way Home. But the action in here is awesome too. Like, I think this has some of the best action sequences in the Deadpool franchise, maybe even the best, especially just that opening scene alone and everything. The whole opening monologue thing is just absolutely hilarious and everything, and it gets really darkly funny and everything. And then you see Deadpool fighting off the TVA and stuff, which you see this in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, but it's even better in the movie than it is in the trailer and everything. A lot of really fun moments and everything, and the meta humor and fourth wall breaking and stuff is just absolutely great. And that's why I love Deadpool so much, is you get all of that, and this movie executes it, I think, the best out of any of them. Like the meta jokes, I think, just were the funniest out of any of the Deadpool movies. They did a really great job with that too. It's easily, hands down, to me, the best movie in the trilogy, and I gotta say that Deadpool is one of the perfect superhero trilogies. Like, every single one of them gets better than the last. Like, and I love that. You don't get that with the trilogies all the time. There's usually at least one that's is a weak link and everything, but this movie, I feel like each got better, and it is a perfect trilogy and everything, and it's one of the best superhero trilogies I've ever seen, for sure, and everything. And I've always really loved Deadpool. I've always thought he was a really funny character and everything, and I've read comics and stuff, and I feel like this movie really got the Deadpool of the comics down pretty well too and everything. But it also just comes down to Ryan Reynolds just really understanding this character, and he's just flat out perfect and everything. And I'll also say the visuals in here are really good too. Like, it doesn't have a lot of CGI and everything, which is new for the MCU. I absolutely love it. I like that the action scenes are shot with practical stunts and everything like that, and you have practical sets and everything. And this movie is mostly practical effects and everything. It's not a bunch of green screen and all that like you usually get from the MCU. So I really like that too. I was very impressed with that as well and everything. And I think this is just the funniest that Deadpool has ever been as well. Like, there are just so many jokes in here. That's why I want to do a spoiler video, but I want to wait till I see the movie again. I might actually try to see it a couple more times before I do a spoiler talk on it, because there is so much in this movie that I know I'm going to need to see it a few times to fully catch everything. And I have a feeling this is going to be like Shrek 2 and some of the best movies that have so many great jokes and stuff that you watch the movie for years and years and everything, and every time you watch it you find something new that you missed or didn't catch and everything. I love when movies do that, and I have a feeling this is going to be one of those movies and everything. Just like, and Deadpool 2 was the same way. There's a lot of stuff every time I watch it that I just didn't catch the first time, or whatever. And I will say the only big thing that, as far as negatives go, which it's not really a negative, but I really wanted so bad more than anything, as far as with Deadpool and everything, I wanted to see a Deadpool variant of the Dino Pool, which I've seen Funko Pops of. I want to see Dino Pool in a movie and everything, and unfortunately he's not in here, so if that's a spoiler for you, I'm sorry, but if you're like me and wanting to see it, then tame your expectations. There is no Dino Pool in here, and if he is in here, I totally missed him and everything, but I wanted to see that. And I also don't recall seeing Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know if he's in here or not. They said he had a cameo in here. I don't recall seeing him, but if he is in here, I definitely hope I can catch it on the next watch. But I don't remember seeing Daniel Radcliffe either. I would like to see him in the MCU too. I'd love to see him as a variant of Wolverine, to be honest with you, but I don't know if we'll ever get that or not. But I think he would be great as Wolverine, but I don't know if we'll ever see that happen or not. I was really hoping for that with this one, but that was really the only thing that I felt a little bit disappointed with as far as my expectations went. I didn't have the expectations that this was going to be a gigantic movie. Like, I know this is a big one and everything, but this is just a fun, really fun time. The funnest movie I've enjoyed with the MCU since at least Spider-Man No Way Home, although I could argue Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for me, because I did really like that movie more than most people did and everything. And I just love this multiverse stuff. I know a lot of people are kind of getting tired of it and everything, and I can get it, but I have a blast with it. I kind of find it fascinating and hope that they would just do a little bit more with it and everything. It would have been kind of cool to see like Deadpool and Wolverine team up with a bunch of variants of and everything, and have different actors playing different versions of them and everything. You kind of get that to some extent with some of the cameos and stuff, but I wish I would have done a little bit more with it as far as that goes. But it's not really a negative either, because the way the story is written and stuff, it's okay and everything, and it is a fast-paced movie. Like, it never slows down and everything, and it's one of those movies that doesn't slow down, and you also don't really want it to end and everything, but it does have a nice ending. And if you were to say this is the last time we see Deadpool and Wolverine and some of the characters from the Fox universe that popped up in here, it is a decent enough send-off and stuff as well. So, but it all in all, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is easily the best movie of the year so far and everything. I didn't expect to think it was that good, to be honest with you, because my top choice, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, for some reason I just absolutely love that movie, and I didn't expect this movie to top it for some reason, but it did. It exceeded my expectations in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it was about as good as I expected it to be. I figured it was going to be the funnest out of the three. I knew it was going to be a blast, and it was everything I expected and wanted it to be. I didn't feel disappointed whatsoever, or really like super surprised with it. But I was impressed that they were able to pull it off and make it a lot of fun and everything. And they also did some things that I didn't expect, but I can't talk about because of spoilers. So I'll talk about this movie in a couple weeks and everything when I talk about the cameos and stuff, because I can't wait to talk about that stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and everything. But all in all, I think this movie really lives up to what I was wanting it to be, and I was entertained and everything, and I can't wait to see what they do with it and everything. And now I'm really kind of excited for the future of the MCU and everything. And I hope we get more movies like this. I know it is a lot of nostalgia bait and stuff like that, but I eat that stuff up. I love fan service and stuff like that in Marvel stuff. There are times where fan service does suck and everything. I feel it sucks more in Star Wars. It doesn't bother me as much in and Marvel as it does Star Wars and stuff and everything, but I don't know, I'm just a sucker when it comes to this stuff, I guess, but I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Deadpool and Wolverine, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.